Chair recognizes the gentleman from Mississippi for 5 minutes, Mr. Guest.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Mayorkas, as we're here today speaking on threats to the homeland, these threats are magnified by our unsecured border. A few moments ago, Director Wray, in response to a question by Mr. McCall, stated the border is a challenge. He referred to drugs, money laundering, guns, and violence. You referenced some of the same information in your report. On page 13, you say that transnational criminal organizations continue to pose a threat to the United States. You speak of drug-related crime, money laundering, human smuggling. Then on page 15, in further detail as it relates to human smuggling, you say at our southwest border we are experiencing historic levels of encounters. And we know that those are numbers that you referred to are borne out by the statistics that your agency puts out each and every month. Now, for the 8th straight month, we have had more than 200,000 encounters along our southwest border. Fiscal year 2022, those numbers were more than 2,378,000. Fiscal year 2021, 1,734,000. Compare those numbers to the last year of the prior administration, fiscal year 2020, those numbers were 458,000. So we see that during a 2-year period, the number of encounters along our southwest border has increased over 520%. Just taking 2022 and 2021 combined, those 2 years in which you have been in charge of this agency, we see a number that exceeds 4 million. To put that number in perspective, that is a number larger than 23 of the states that comprise the United States of America. And so looking at that, you have previously stated that the border is closed, the border is secure, and that we have not lost operational control of the border. I ask you once again today, do you still stand by your statement based on those statistical figures that the border is closed, the border is secure, and that we have not lost operational control?
Congressman Guest, let me share a few thoughts because I think it's very important to put the challenge at our southern border, and it's a very serious challenge, in a proper context. It is a challenge that is not specific or exclusive to our southern border. This is a challenge that exists throughout the hemisphere. And let me give a very powerful
And Mr. Mayorkas, I'm not trying to interrupt you. I have very limited time, and so I'd like to focus my question on the southwest border. If we'd like to meet outside this committee meeting when we have additional time, you and I have met before and would be happy to meet with you again. But since I'm now down to 2 minutes, I want to focus my questioning specifically on the southwest border. You have said, when you have appeared before this committee, that you need additional time, your agency needs additional time to get this crisis under control. And we see, as Congress, we see no evidence that the situation along the southwest border is getting better. A matter of fact, looking statistically, it seems like the border is getting worse. And we can say that these number of immigrants, we know that of these number of immigrants that we see here that have come across our border, we have statistics here that 98% of those, 98 people on that list of those individuals were on the terrorist watch list. And so we as a committee, we as a Congress, we as the American public, we want to have faith that you and your agency are seeking to get this challenge under control. But I'm looking at statistics, and statistics tell me that that is not the case. Statistics tell me that the border is only getting worse, and that since this administration has taken control, that the policies that you have put in place have failed, and that they have failed miserably. We know that Commissioner Mangus recently was forced to resign from office, and I applaud you for removing him. I thought he did a terrible job, and I hope that there are other people that you will remove and that you will work with a Republican-controlled Congress to find a way to secure the border. And so what I'm hoping and what I'm asking here, and I will give you the last 30 seconds of my time, is what will you do as in your current position to help us secure the border? Because that's what we all want. Republicans, Democrats, we want a secure border. We clearly do not have that now. And what will you help us do to make sure we get back to the levels that we saw in fiscal year 2020?